Welcome back, guys. Time to do some visualization. Okay. So by the time you guys were taking the quiz, I managed to put a floor underneath the ball, which I already created, and deleted some additional edges that were made during this ball. So nothing much you miss. All right. So first off, you need to come to this visualize tab. When you come to this visualize tab, you'll be greeted with all these options. So let's just go with the main options first. Right. So the main options are creating light. Sun status is just the normal light, default light where you need, and then material browsing. So material browsing is where you actually give the materials, the textures and stuff you need. Textures are nothing but basically the way these things look. So at the beginning, materials and textures will be off, so you won't be able to see any textures. And secondly, you don't have any textures to begin with. So let's get started. First off, go into material textures. So right now I already have some textures here already done. So you can just go to these textures, like there will be only global texture. None of these textures will be here. So yeah, what you have to do is duplicate the global texture and rename it. And once you open it, you'll get an option to like customize your own textures if you have any. Texture files are basically in JPEG, PNG and files. So it basically takes that image and throws it on the thing you have here. So I'm gonna show you guys something real quick so you guys can know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go here. Why not take a random image I have on my laptop, open it up, there you go, it's inside. So what I'm about to do is go to edit image and actually change how it looks. So right now this is how it looks. So if I go in here, change this, it will change the way it looks on the actual product after I drop it on. So there you go. Keep it like this for now. So yeah. So this is the texture file I created. In order for me to actually put the texture file on this thing, I need to click on the object, go to the texture file and then say assign to selection. And basically what it does is this will assign this thing for this. Right now you can't see the thing because I have materials and textures off. Once I turn materials and texture on, it will show up here. So yeah, on the bowl I already have it aligned, so it's gonna be showing the ceramic bowl. I'll show you guys where I got that thing layer in a bit. So right now the image looks kind of weird. So what I'm gonna do is go to image and keep reducing this till it actually looks like the way I want it to. Okay, with 20. So how does it look in the back? Okay, it's coming close. But yeah, as you can see, basically what it does is shrink the image smaller and smaller according to the size. So I'm just gonna keep doing that till it actually fits the screen. Should be around maybe like 2. How does it look? 2 is a bit too small. So maybe give it like 10. And we have the image on it. You guys can create whatever image you want like this. But yeah, right now let's just go with normal wood. I'm gonna select this and then select this and then assign it. And it has been assigned. But as you can see, the wood looks kind of weird. It doesn't look good. That's because the wood is not scaled properly. So if I go here and go down, you can see the wood is at 130, the sample size. So if we decrease the sample size, it will actually fit the stuff you have. I'm gonna put this to 20, and if I go out, as you can see, it kind of looks like wood now. The more I increase the sample size, the more better it would look, or decrease the sample size in this case. So if I go 5, it will look even more better. Yeah, so this is how you actually do this. And the next thing you need to see is the finish. So you would have known, like some wood, they say about wood finishes where it looks shiny, some of them will look dull, which is basically unfinished. So this is what it does. It makes it look either shiny, semi-shiny, stained varnish, or unfinished. So you can change this depending on what kind of finish you need. I'm gonna go with semi-fine if others, and this basically increases the wood grain. Wood grain is nothing but the gaps and the curvature of the wood. Like when you go to a table which has like multiple planks on it, you can feel the planks on your hand. So it basically gives the wood a bit of depth, which you can do here. All right. And as for the bowl, I got a ceramic bowl from the list below here. AutoCAD already has a list which you can just pick from. And I used a ceramic blue bowl, this one. And of course I can change it as well if I need it, but right now it's fine, so I don't need to change anything. Alright, next step is rendering. So yeah, in rendering all you have to do is go up here and see. In render you have a bunch of options. This is the quality of the render. The more you increase, the more time it takes. As you can see, overnight render takes around 12 hours. Lunch render is 16 minutes, 10 minutes. This takes around 5 minutes, and medium is the one that's instant. And low is the very lowest. I'm gonna go with medium just for the sake of time and show you guys what's about. Second up is render size. Render size basically increases the size after render, the image pixel basically. As you can tell, it's like 720p is HD, full HD is 1080p. You guys would have heard about this. So I'm gonna go with 1080p right now because that would probably look better. And then you also have this option, render window viewpoint region. Viewpoint renders it in your drawing currently right now. In window, it will open up a separate window and render it there. And then region just renders it in this particular region which you select. So I'm gonna go over to the window right now, and these are render progresses. You can see them as they render. And then now I'm gonna click on the teapot. Right now I haven't given it any lights or anything, so it's just gonna be okay. So right now there's an error here which is calling that my medium library is not good. So it's fine. I'm gonna just uh, cancel the download and just render it normally without anything. Okay, so it's initializing right now. Let's see what it does. So the rendering preset is kind of broken. Let me try something else. Let's try a high render. Okay, so this is a problem that occurs because sometimes if you have internet connection, it's gonna try to go to the internet connection and try to render. So right now I turned off internet. Let's see what it does without the internet. See if it actually renders. And yeah, there you go. It's rendering now. So if you're having problems with your AutoCAD where it's having problems with rendering, it's because it's either connected to the internet and is trying to check for an online library, since AutoCAD has options for online, but this thing already has its own library inside, so we do not need it. So right now I did medium rendering and look at that, it's rendered. And these white charts are showing up because I did bad like wood amount, so it doesn't know what it's supposed to do and increase it. If I decrease that, it will actually look better. Let's just go there and decrease the wood grain. Yeah, around 0.5 should be fine. And then this time let's create some lights. In lights we have spotlight, distance, web lights. Spotlight is basically like spotlights you see on stages. This distant light increases or creates a light that is very far away. Point light is a light where you can create it anywhere. So I'm gonna just create a light, and here it's asking if it wants to turn off the default lights in the rendering. In this case, you can keep the lights turned on if you want the default lights, or turn it off. It is recommended to turn it off, so I'm going to turn it off for now. Next up, I'm gonna make this create this light in the center of this bowl and give it a name. Point light 1, yeah, sure. And then I'm gonna also change the intensity factor to 0.2. So the intensity factor basically increases the intensity of the light. So done, and then exit. Now you have a light here. As you can see now, everything is like weirded out and bright. That's because the light is a bit too bright for it. So what you can do is click on this little arrow near the lights to open up the lights tab. Go into this point light which I created and change how it looks. Right now the intensity is 1500 CD. CD is the measurement which you use to look at the brightness of light. So in order to reduce this, I'm just gonna use a more lower light. So if I use 50, now you can see it looks a bit different. I'm gonna lower it even more and make it look a bit more different. 20, there you go. So this is the only light source. Let's see how it looks once it's rendered out. It's gonna start a new render. And it seems like the light is still too bright by the look of this preview. And by the looks of it, there is something wrong. That's because I don't have shadows on. Without shadows, everything looks weird. So I'm gonna do is give it full shadows. And there you go. Now it looks a bit different. I'm also gonna change the intensity of that light even more, make it as dim as possible so it looks better. So I'm gonna change this intensity factor to 0.05 and keep it like this. Now let's see how it looks. Still too bright. But yeah, basically this is how you do rendering. Keeping light sources, editing them how they look, making them look good. And yes, hopefully this has helped you guys on how to actually render and how to make stuff look good. And right now, as you can see, it's rendering now properly. The light source is a bit too high up, that's why it's like creating this light over here in the resolution of the render. After the render is done, you can save your renders as image files on your desktop, and you can show it off to whoever you want to show it off. And to change the angles of your render, you just change it in your workspace and it will change the angle here. Hopefully this video was helpful, guys, and see you guys later. Bye bye.
To obtain a course completion certificate, visit our site and finish the rest of the course videos within the given time. Sign in, choose your course, watch the video and take the quiz. Finish all of them to get the certificate. Happy learning!